my video earlier, I had revealed that Angela had came out and said that Michael had been reported missing after he suddenly went missing on February 23rd, and he's been MIA since. So apparently he just walked out the door, left her 7-year-old grandchild behind unattended while Angela went to go get lunch, and he walked down the driveway and then just disappeared off the camera. So now we finally have an update. I didn't think we were going to have an update this quick. Before I get to the update, I quickly just want to share an answer to a question I had in my last video. So I was wondering why Angela went live, but she wasn't posting anything on her Instagram or her stories or any other social media about Michael missing, or why she said other people could contact the news but not her. Angela ended up clearing that up, and she said since she's coming back for this upcoming season with Michael, if she spoke out and said anything herself, it would be violating her contract, even though she's still pretty much speaking out on this live, but it's not her actual live. It's just in the background of John Yates' live. And she said that's why she had John and Cody drive down to her so she could go live and have them report the news so she didn't get in trouble. So now the update is apparently after John, Angela, and John's husband got off live earlier when they revealed Michael was missing, 5 minutes later, Angela got a phone call from a police officer, and he revealed that Michael reached out, and I'm assuming he probably saw that they were saying, hey, if anybody has any information leading to Michael being found, then they'll reward you $10,000. And Angela was saying, well, if I don't hear from him, I'm going to have to contact immigration. I think Michael got scared when he heard that, and he decided to reach out to police. And he said he was okay, but he was not wanting to share his location with Angela because he said he was scared for his life. And he said he left behind his phone at Angela's, and apparently he had a burner phone, and he was able to take pictures of his ID and passport before he left. And the police were able to verify that it was actually Michael on the phone, because they're like, well, do you have a picture of your ID? And he's like, yep, I got a picture of it. Sent it over. They confirmed that indeed it was him. At first, Angela was acting like she was caught off guard that he had left. And she was saying, well, it's not like we were fighting or anything before he left. But then she revealed, while John was live and she was in the background, she said that shortly before he ended up leaving, she told Michael that she wants him to go back home because she feels like he didn't love her. And she said that he had been sad over that. The tell-all just happened, so I wonder if she told him that at the end of the tell-all. Maybe that was finally what pushed him away. But Angela said that Michael got here just a few days before Christmas, and he was only in America for a few months. And in those 2 months, she said that they traveled to California for a week, they traveled to Florida and went to the beach, and they even went to New York for the tell-all. And she said the whole time, most of the time, they were having a great time together. I feel like if Michael was really scared for his life, then when he was at the tell-all just a week or two ago, there's multiple times they took him to the side and had one-on-one interviews, and I feel like he easily could have been like, look guys, this is what it is, I need help. And I feel like TLC probably would have stepped up to the plate and helped him figure something out. So John was on live, and he was reading this post that someone sent him, and they believe that this is likely the girl that Michael is currently with posting this. I tried to look up and down for this post. I can't find it, but I'm going to read to you what they said. It said, Michael left because he was scared for his life, and apparently Michael said that Angela kept putting hands on him, and she allegedly broke his phone and tore his passport in half. So he felt like he was trapped. So they claim that Michael ended up reaching out to his family after only 2 days of being in America, and he said that he was scared for his life, and his family ended up calling the police to do a welfare check. They showed up, they ended up leaving, and Angela thought that Michael had called the police, so she allegedly beat the crap out of him. And when John was reading this, Angela was not in the background denying any of these claims. I feel like there may be a little bit of truth in that, or at least like the police were called and showed up. Otherwise, if that was Angela, I'd be like, no, that didn't happen. And they claim that Michael said that he was pretty much on house arrest. Angela seems to think this account is somebody that is with Michael, or possibly Michael posting from this person's account, and she thinks it's a female, and she has a pretty good idea of who it is because they used a lot of the same wording that Michael used. So she thinks either Michael typed this or Michael was relaying what he wanted this person to post. And this was right after the live too, before the police had actually contacted Michael, that this was posted. And I think this is another way to try to get people to calm down. They also claim that Angela took Michael to the bank and got him a debit card, but then took the debit card so he couldn't have access to his account. And Angela seems to think that Michael has this big dark secret and he likes men, because she says that when he was in America, they were barely having sex, and she feels like Michael liked men and that's why he wasn't doing it with her. But I feel like Michael just wasn't interested in Angela. I feel like he played the long game and already had this planned out for when he got here, because Angela revealed that apparently a year ago someone sent messages to John Yates and said, hey, I'm talking to Michael, and Angela told John not to come out and talk about it, but they spoke on it on this live. Angela was like, oh, I still got those receipts. You guys want to see them? And she said she was going to pull them up, but she never ended up showing them. I wish she did. But apparently, Michael had been talking to this girl, and this girl was like, well, what about Angela? Aren't you still with Angela? And Michael was like, oh, don't worry. When I come to America, I'm going to talk to Angela, and she'll be okay with it. This was only a year ago, so it kind of shows that Michael was already planning to hook up with other women as soon as he made it to the United States. And I feel like he just wanted to come to America and be on the show, and I feel like he played the long game, which is crazy because I did not see this coming for Michael. Angela was bawling her eyes out in the background, and she was trying to say she does not give a damn about Michael and she doesn't love him. And even John's husband was like, okay, come on, you're lying, because if you didn't love him, then you would not care about him and his well-being like you have all day. Like, she's been worried sick about the man. And Angela admitted that she still has a lot of love for Michael, but she said this is too far this time and she refuses to take him back, and pretty much said that there's no coming back from this. And she got extremely emotional while speaking about all this, because I think she is just now coming to terms as she's talking about it in real life, that this is probably the end of the road for her and Michael. And Angela did make a good point too, because she's like, well, if Michael was scared for his life, don't you think he would go back to his family and go back to Nigeria and what he knows? But instead, he decides to go to someone in America, which is just giving that this was premeditated and planned out. I think it's safe to assume he's likely shacked up with another woman. And Angela says she has a pretty good idea where Michael is. And she says all she has to say to the girl is she will see her soon, and said something about Andy Wayne. And she's like, she knows what I'm talking about. And I wonder, like, what the hell she's talking about with the Andy Wayne. I wonder if maybe Michael had this girl's phone number saved under Andy Wayne in the phone or something like that. Angela claims that shortly before Michael ended up leaving, she ended up going through his phone one day, and she caught Michael sending his sister a picture of his social security card and passport, and she questioned why he was doing that. She's like, why are you giving out your personal information and sending that over to your sister? But now it makes sense knowing what we know now. I think she just needs to return to sender. What my gut feeling was telling me was correct. I had a feeling he waited until the end of the season and waited till the tell-all was wrapped up so he can still get his coin once the season airs. And he probably found a girl who sold him a dream, was willing to sponsor him, and she probably just got her tax refund back because it's tax season, and she's like, hey, let me come save you. Angela shared this picture on the live, and apparently this was only 5 days ago. And she's like, does this look like a man who is scared for his life? This kind of reminds me of, like, I think, what was his name? Muhammad? Is that his name? Who's with Eve? And then he ended up leaving, and he made the same claims that she was putting hands on him, and that he was scared for his life because that's a way for them to try to still stay in the country if they claim they've been abused. And I think Michael is pulling that same card in this case. But at the same time, I don't doubt that they had a lot of fighting going on. I'm really curious that they ended up getting married in America, because I know that was one of their big plans as soon as Michael got to America, is for them to officially get married over here, since they only got married in Nigeria. And I don't know, this whole situation is crazy. The man was with Angela for over 7-8 years, then finally made it to America and got his dream and dipped out after only 2 months. But I mean, he's still in America, and I wonder what this is going to mean for him being in America. Are they going to let him stay? Are they going to kick him out, make him go back home? I know he doesn't have a green card, but I'm curious to see what happens from here. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.